Hey, hi team. Welcome again to UFT training. So today we are going to discuss about the different types of the checkpoints. Okay, now before going to start with the checkpoint, we have to understand what is a checkpoint. So basically checkpoint is nothing but it is a verification point where we are going to compare expected with actual result. And this is called as a checkpoint. Now there are different types of the checkpoints like standard checkpoint, text checkpoint, text area checkpoint, bitmap checkpoint, XML checkpoint, file content checkpoint, database checkpoint. So these are the different the types of the checkpoints are there. So let's go to the UFT and we are trying to check where these the checkpoints are there. So if you go and check the design and then the design to checkpoint, and you can see that the standard checkpoint, database checkpoint, XML checkpoint and file content checkpoints are visible. Okay, these are the different types of the checkpoints are visible. Now I clicked on the existing checkpoint. Now what I did is I tried to add the this is called as a bitmap checkpoint. So I will come to this point, but when I click on the existing checkpoint, it is going to show me that this is what your existing checkpoint is. Okay, right now. And if you go to this design and the checkpoint, I'm not able to see the other checkpoints. So that will get enabled at the runtime. Runtime means that is a record time. So try to understand this. So let's take an examples to understand a standard checkpoint. Now what is a standard checkpoint? Now the name, it is a standard, right? So the standard properties are there. So like button enabled, disabled, right? Whether it is true or false, you want to check that. And the proper that the object has a multiple properties. So you can select or you can check a multiple properties. Now there is a scenario in the generally, we have a builds, different builds. Say for example, now there is a build called as the build A. There is a login window. See, now you have to understand this is a login window, and we have username and password. Okay, and we have OK button, right? So this is I can call this as a build A. Okay, this is what build A, and now this build A has some objects like this is username object, and this username object has some the properties and the methods. Then the password has some the properties and of properties of that object. Then the OK button. Now let's consider this. Now the OK button is some height is there, some width is there, okay, whether it is enabled by default. So it has some requirement, like by default it is disabled. When I enter username and the password, then it becomes enabled. So I want to check whether this button is getting enabled or disabled when I entered username and the password. Okay, right? So this is a one scenario. So let me just go with this build A is there, and let me just copy and paste it with the build B. Now the build B has come up with, say for example, now what I'm trying to do is, now the developers has made some changes into the OK button, right? Say for example, instead of OK button, now they have come up with the login button, and now you can check the the height and the width of that, correct? So
Yes.
it has been also changed. So this is what the build B. I can call this as a build B, and this is what it is called as a regression testing. Okay. So suppose for example I have written so many test cases. Say for example 10 test cases for this login window, right? And now for the build B, I need to execute it all this login window test cases. All 10 test cases should be get executed, right? And we have to find out anything is getting impacted or the changes has been made by the developers. Yes. Now for this OK button, you can see that when the name has changed, then the height and width has changed, right? So definitely you can see that. So it will show you that error that the login button has changed. Okay. So you will get the difference that okay, previously it was OK button, now it has a login button. Okay, right?
Yes, sir.
And this is what it is called as a standard properties. So let's take an example of the same and then we can check, you know. The
Mhm.
scenario is like this. Now let's take a scenario, different scenario. Now, scenario is like this. So you have to find out the new search button. Okay, let's go to the flight reservation application. Okay, let me just go to the flight GUI application. Right, let me just log in. Even if you check it out here, the behavior of that application. When I enter something, this OK button gets enabled. Okay,
Mm.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
this is a one case. Even we can capture this one also, right? As a standard
Mhm.
checkpoint. But let me just go with the new search button. Let me just check it out. Okay, let me just log in first. Get into this application. Right, so we have to select this London, Paris, whatever it is, right? So we are going to book a ticket, say find flights, and I select some flight, okay, and then I'm getting this new search button, okay. So the scenario is like this. We have to check whether the new search button is getting appear, whether it is visible, okay, whether it is enabled. So when I enter these things, then it should get enabled. The another scenario might be like this. If I enter something in the passenger name, OK button gets enabled. This is also another scenario. So many scenarios as there. So we can compare, we can get all the values or the properties of that particular object. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let's go and check it out. So what I'm trying to do, I'm going to record this, the particular scenario for the
Mhm.
standard checkpoint. So let's go ahead and check. So let's create a test, new test. Okay. So let me just go and create a new test, add new test. Say PS underscore checkpoint, standard checkpoint. Let's click on add button. And we are trying to record this scenario. So let's record it. So when I click on the record button, right, so you have to make sure that it is a Windows application tab. Click on OK, right? So the standard pad has come over here, recording standard pad. And here we have different types of the checkpoints. Now these checkpoints are enabled. So standard checkpoint, bitmap checkpoint, right? Then the text checkpoint, text area checkpoint, accessibility checkpoint, database checkpoint, XML checkpoint, and file content checkpoint. So in interview, they might ask what are the different types of the checkpoints. So you should be able to explain this all these different types of the checkpoints. So let's start and record this. Okay, let me just select this, you know, city. Okay, so today's date, economy class to business class, number of tickets, say 3 tickets, find flight, select flight, and now I want to verify this new search button. So let me just go to this, the standard check. You have to press F12, you will get the standard checkpoint. This is a one way. And the other way is you have to go to the menu bar and you have to check, right, whether the standard checkpoint is there, right? Let me just go to this and I have to check. Here we have a standard checkpoint. Now at the runtime, now this all checkpoint has been, the visible, right? At the
Yes.
runtime, yes, standard checkpoint, text area, bitmap, database accessibility, XML from the application and XML from resources, and
Mhm.
file content checkpoint. So let's go with the standard checkpoint. Okay, I have to select this, the particular object. Okay, so I have to select this, the new search button. Now you can see that, this is what WPF button and the new search. Let's click on the OK button. When I click on the OK button, I am getting different types of the properties. Like enable is true, right? Whether the focus is pass or fail, or the height is 36. Let's go with the the multiple properties right now. So I am selecting the name also new search. Okay, text is also new search. So I selected multiple properties. Now there is something called as a checkpoint timeout. Okay, If particular property doesn't match with the the actual application, right, it will wait for 10 seconds. So that is a maximum timeout. It will wait for 10 seconds. It will check, or that the application might be taking some time to load that particular the button or the property. So we have to wait for that particular time. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is what it is, a maximum timeout. If you want to change to maximum timeout 5 seconds would be fine. Okay, just keep it as it is. If you want to change, you can change it later on also. Let me just go click on OK button. So I added one standard checkpoint. Okay, let me just click on this in the new search and then come to the original window and then stop recording. So I added one standard checkpoint. Okay, now you can see that the standard checkpoint, it is saying that the check and the checkpoint for new search
Yes, sir.
button. Yes. So let me just run and check it out. Okay, how it is getting the result.
Mm.
So let me just run this. And now the test execution is now going on. You can see that. And then now it is going to be checked that, okay, the standard checkpoint is valid one. So this is a valid scenario, right? Now you can see that, yes, it is passed. So let's expand this tree structure. Okay, expand it and then see where the tick mark is there. So the tick mark is for this checkpoint. Now here you can see that it's a standard checkpoint for the new search button and it is passed. Now, what are the properties you selected? Enabled is true, height is 36, name is new search, right? Text is also new search. So these are the different properties you selected.
So this means that these properties match
Are
with the
matching,
application,
yes,
and that's why the tick mark is there.
correct,
Okay.
exactly. So we did a validation part. Now what I'm trying to do, say for example, now we can't make any changes into this application, right? We don't have the rights to go and change that, the search to login window or some other, the kind of stuff. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to change this, say let's go to this object repository and then we can see that in the standard checkpoint output, right? Here we have a new search. Okay, in the new search and text, we have to go and change the text. Okay, I'm going to change the text. Say new search, instead of new search, I'm saying that it's search. Okay, see,
Mm-hmm.
this is what the developers has made some changes. Let's assume this. Okay, and let's run it again. The same scenario, we are going to run it. Now this might be the fail. Let's go and run. And it will wait for 10 seconds if it is getting mismatch. See, now it is waiting, right? 1 second. Yes. Now we can see that this case is failed now. So we have to expand tree structure and we have to check where it is getting failed and what is the reason. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can see that this particular property is, it's search. If you move your cursor, you can see that it is expected result and now
Mm-hmm.
actual is its new search. And you can see the snapshot over here, right? So there is a problem with this particular, the object that is a new search. Okay,
Okay.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how we can get it into this in the standard checkpoint. Hope that this is
Mm-hmm.
clear to you.
Yes, sir. And the other thing I would like to ask is we can select standard checkpoint from two things, right? One is on the right hand side corner, and the one is with the recording window.
Recording, yeah, correct. Standard recording bar. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.